so I'll go ahead and get us started. And one of the things in my head that I've had, if you have, I'm going to mute, actually, I'm going to mute all of you guys right now, because I'm getting some feedback from somebody.
Yeah, you. AD.
Okay, so I'm going to get us going. One of the things that I had in my head, I think I still have, like, I'm on someone, if you're not muted, if you could mute yourself, that would be awesome. Trying to go around and mute as much as I can with people. Okay, I don't think I'm getting feedback anymore. Yay, okay. I'm gonna get you guys started today. One of the things that I've been thinking about since all of this has happened is that what does it look like when we go back? And so that is the big unknown for all of us. And this year our team started off with a saying of pivot with purpose and positivity. I knew that would be happening because we were going to do a couple of moves into a new building. So I'm actually in my new building by myself, and did not ever expect COVID-19, but really it's about the testimony of the, the people that are out there, and that we're all getting together and helping each other. So I wanted to create some resources for not just CLI team, we call this CLI Connect, and that's our outreach with other agency owners or business owners and helping them with some of the business solutions that they'll have. So we've done a ton of research with our team, and then we put together some resources. So on the call, we have some people that are part of CLI and some that are not. If you are not part of CLI, all of the resources, we're gonna go ahead and email them to you. So as I'm going through it, I'll spotlight and say, hey, this is a resource that Cheryl's gonna send to you. So if you do not have our email for some reason, just send to ds@cliselect.com. and we'll send that out to you. That's why we captured the emails, because there's some of the resources I'm going to show you that you're going to be able to implement with your team, or maybe implement as far as a strategy going forward for you. So it's really becoming the plan is what we need to put together with everyone in your team, or even by yourself. I think having a plan and knowing that there's a backup plan. My husband has always made fun of me that I have a backup plan for a backup plan for a backup plan. And I think I'm very happy now that I have that type of mentality. So when you're putting these together, just think about it, that you're going to have to, like we said, pivot with purpose and positivity. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is, I know here in Arizona, they just lifted the stay-at-home order. So on Friday, we will be able to, we're opening up a lot more, but what does that really look like? And so what we have in front of us is the telecommuting, is creating a policy for future flexibility. And so with your team, some of them are going to feel super comfortable about, going back to work, and what does that look like for them? And then some of them are going to not feel comfortable going back to work. And so there needs to be some flexibility. When we went and sent our team home the week of March 16th, we sent out a telecommuting policy that had flexibility into it. So it said, starting the week of March 16th, we will be working from home. And then, as things continue, we may be coming back and we will let you know. Our new policy that has the telecommuting policy is similar. And it also has in there, things they should keep in mind when they're working from home and what we expect from them. And then the second portion is coming back to work. What does that look like for them coming back to work? So we have for them, safety practices that we suggest for them, and, social distancing, of course. So we put together all of these procedures in here. For those of you that are not part of CLI, this is our CLI University that we use with our agents. We also have a COVID-19 update that compiles everything. If you're out there and you're part of our group and you don't have access to it, just email me, like I had mentioned, ds@cliselect.com, and we'll be able to send you some materials if you need help. This is all about just trying to get help to you to take and make that transition. So these policies, we're going to email those out to you as a resource that you can use, with your team, or if you're thinking of bringing on somebody, how would that look? Or if you're thinking of just telecommuting, forever and not having your team come back, what does that look like for you? So these two plans give you a policy to create future flexibility to be able to change it down the road. So that's the first resource I wanted to put together for you guys as well. One of the things, and so that's tip one, is making sure that you create policies during this time period that are flexible, not just for now, but down the road. Like I said, have a backup plan for a backup plan for a backup plan. So keep that in mind as you're putting policies together for your team. The second thing is that if you're telecommuting or your team is telecommuting as well, is that you want to keep in mind that there is some cyber threats that are out there as well. And so we have a 2-pager that we put together for our clients, and it talks about best practices for cyber threats. And so you can use this going future forward as well and implement it with your team. But this is also something that if you are an agency that does some commercial, is that we've really had an uptick of clients that are asking questions about the threat of cyber and what does it look like for them. And so we're trying to do the proactive touches with them and letting them know what they should be doing instead of the reactive portion. So this is a really good time for you to reach out to prospects that are commercial or also current clients and talk to them about how cyber is different now than how it was before and what are their concerns, what keeps them up at night, and then be able to be that resource for them. But also, you may have some of these pain points and some of these fears for your team, even if you're a team of one on it too. So cyber insurance by 2026, that market for the insurance sector is going to be $28.6 billion in premium. It is going to be an enormous part of what we do. So I would definitely start, if you can, start pivoting that way. I know some of the carriers do have some cyber coverage on the personal line, more of like the high value type of homes and products, but you want to start checking, because I've worked on a couple of COVID councils with the carriers, and they've started talking about having a standalone cyber personal lines type of product. So this isn't just for your commercial clients, this is also for your personal lines clients as well. This is an opportunity to protect them. This is an opportunity for you to do a cross-sell within your agency as well. So taking the next step. So we definitely know it won't be easy, but it will absolutely be worth it if you take the steps from a proactive standpoint. So one of the things as you're transitioning, some people are super comfortable with still social distancing. Some of them are comfortable wearing a mask, not wearing a mask. So you want to design a message to your team and your clients of really protecting what matters most. And you want to have it be a message of that we're here to keep you healthy and safe. So you want to make sure that as you're designing your plan, it goes with a message to your team, to your clients, and that includes your social media out there, that you're letting them know that your plan is X, Y, and Z, and this is what you're doing. The more you can communicate, the more comfortable that they will be with you. So you want to make sure you're communicating that. One of the ways that you can communicate it is also in your plan is in your signature. Right away, we had put in there that, hey, we're working from home, but we are here for you. We'll be changing our signatures to say that some of our team will be working at home, and we're actually not going to accept any clients for a while or any appointments for a little while. And then as we transition the plan, and like I said, the backup plan for a backup plan for a backup plan, make sure that you're communicating it. The worst thing you can do is not communicate with the clients because they will feel like they are being ignored, and the team will have a lot of fear. So you want to make sure you're communicating exactly what the plan is, even if you don't have the plan yet. So some of our team meetings, we even telling at the team that, hey, we are thinking about X, Y, and Z in regards to going back, but we haven't figured out the answer yet. So when we do have the answer, we'll let you know. But the number one thing that we will keep in mind in that is that we want to keep you healthy and safe. And so we keep telling them the message of keeping them healthy and safe. So design your plan with your team and clients in mind and making sure that you communicate that plan. So like I said, create the transition plan and then create your backup plan with that too. I'm going to be sending you guys a resource that shows here's our transition plan for how it looks for us. We will be completing that today, and then I'll be sending it out to you guys as well. So you'll have a transition map to be able to say, okay, here's the pieces of it, and you can put it together. So block in a few hours to start your plans and get your teams helping to make this happen. So with the outline of the plan for you, make sure that you have your teams buy-in. Get their feedback too, because they want to be heard, and it will settle some of the fears that they have with you. So definitely don't do the plan without actually talking and communicating with them. And we're communicating with them one-on-one so that they can make their decisions one-on-one, and they don't feel pressure to come back into work if they're uncomfortable with it, or that they feel that they don't really have a choice. So if you're giving them a choice, definitely make sure it's not like in a team environment. You want to make sure that you take and you do it on a one-on-one basis. You don't want anybody to feel like they were pressured, and from a legal side, you want to make sure that they don't feel like you're being threatening towards them. So here are some of the resources that we'll be sending to you, and we have a sample return to work action plan as well. So those are the things that you'll want to think about, and it goes down to all the way of like, what kind of supplies do you need on it? And it talks about how you're going to put it in place, and these are different options that you can have. We also have designing a post-coronavirus office. How to spatially do you do that with your team and also with your clients? So that's going to be something you want to keep in mind. And then post-coronavirus workplace checklist too. So we have a checklist for you on items that you want to keep in mind while you're putting together the plan. The goal of this meeting is to give you the resources so you don't feel alone in the transition, that you can take and put together an action plan for yourself and then move it as you're going, but also have the backup plan in case things change. So one of the biggest things is I feel like people get afraid, they back in, and they say, well, I used to do sales like this, and that's not working anymore, and they don't do the pivoting that we were talking about. So I wanted to create, also we're talking about the plan, but part of the plan is that you need to get your team, if they're not already, used to selling in a different type of way. And so it takes a lot more proactivity with the clients to put it together, but I put together different sales points for you guys. So one of the things that we've been working with our clients is recognize that your client is the hero and you are the helper. And that's really important too, because a lot of the calls that we get, people are not always so nice. And so just, letting them know, asking them, hey, are you staying safe and healthy? And how's it going? Just having an open conversation. I know at the dinner table, my kids were starting to go really, really bonkers about staying in and not being around their friends. And so I ended up asking them, how have you been a superhero today? And, they said, I stayed home, I washed my hands, and those are the type of things, you don't have to treat your kids, of course, like a child, but it allows them to feel like you are here to help. Like, how can I help you? Your business clients, especially, you say, hey, it's really amazing how you've stayed open for the public and you're serving the public, and let them know that anything that you need, I'm here to help you. Some of the things that we've helped our clients through this have been PPP portion. We've connected them with HR resources for the CARES portion. So you can be that resource for your clients. We proactively called them and said, if there's anything that you need at all, just let us know. We'll try and connect you to them. And the nice thing is that they, in return, have come back and asked us questions that have helped them with their company. So if you're helping them, and then you'll be able to reap the rewards later. So commit to a long-term sales mindset. So the problem is sometimes this short-term little glitch that we're having called COVID-19, it throws people off. It makes you feel like you cannot go and do some of the things that you used to be doing that made you successful. You just got to figure out how to do it differently. I really love, there was a story about a restaurant that was a brick oven pizza place, and they had put together, you know, most of their sales was from pizza slices, so at lunchtime. And they knew that they were not going to have people coming in and getting a pizza slice at lunchtime. So they took and they were able to transition their business a little differently, you know, for right now, to make face masks. So the oven was, you know, hot enough for the face mask to be able to be made. And that was, and most of their clients came from a local hospital, so pizza slices. So then they were able to still stay in touch with their main clientele. Now, maybe for the long term, they may still have the, you know, the pizza portion of it, but they may actually also have another business that could be an opportunity for them down the road. So going back to the clients that are, you know, scared, they're, you know, stressed out. A lot of us have been homeschooling. I've been homeschooling. There's nothing like trying to get your kids to not talk in the middle of a Zoom call. So choose to practice compassion and empathy and patience with your clients. So take a breath and definitely don't take it personally, and just say, you know, I'm here to listen. And that will really help them get to the next point and be able to understand. It's confusing. I know that we got a ton of phone calls after a lot of the refunds from the carriers came in, and there was a lot of questions from the clients. They didn't understand what was going on. And we overnight had to become the experts. So definitely, if you show them compassion and empathy, they'll show it to you too. We were able to say, hey, I'm not 100 about what each of the carriers are doing. We've just, you know, all of this happened overnight, but I definitely will be checking on that for you and getting back to you as to what next steps are. Some of the carriers are now going to be extending it a couple more months. So, you know, you're going to still have those conversations with the clients too. It can help with retention on it, and also cross-sells. If you say, hey, you know, if you leave, then you'll lose the opportunity of getting the refund. So let's see if we can save more money by possibly packaging it together for you. We've gotten a lot more cross-sells because we've been able to practice compassion and empathy and let them know that, you know, we are the helper. So understand and secure your immediate sales and marketing situation. And for us, we started taking our clients, and we've done this before in our leads list that we have, but really understanding the clients that were the immediate ones that we could sell, and that they were, you know, they're ready to go. And then understanding that the marketing situation that we had was the ones that weren't quite ready. We were able to create a marketing plan to be able to send them proactive tips for their business. And so the marketing situation became something different. We're not getting together in person, but we were able to send them helping items, not a sales item, but a helping tip, things that they could take and use as resources. And so the marketing situation is a little bit different. No one wants to be sold right now. They want to be helped right now. So adjust your annual sales targets, including the impact on your profit and loss. So if you've had some you know, changes, you know, if you're looking at chargebacks, you've had some clients that have reduced coverage, really take a look at your P&L. I think when we get scared, sometimes we're like, okay, I'm not going to look at the financials and it's going to freak me out. But you really need to start looking at the P&L and looking and seeing, you know, what your annual sales targets could look like if X happens, if this happens over here, and how you're going to overcome those things. So that'll give you a good strategy of really understanding where you're at and where you can go. Create a lower commitment bite-sized sales offering. And, you know, that can be anything from, like, we did a a toy campaign. So they are small little premiums as far as like motorcycles and RVs and boats, but people were out and about. They had their stuff out there. So we were using that as a small bite-sized sales offering and saying, while you're social distancing, motorcycles are great for that. You're not shaking hands, and we advertise them out to it. So definitely think about the smaller sales and offerings that you can think about that are really time sensitive to, what is happening in the marketplace of where you're at. Outline a plan to create high value marketing content for sales support. So make sure you have some of the marketing materials that I was talking to you about. That's really about the tips and the helpful things they can do. Of course, you want to show love to your client. There's nothing like calling and just saying thank you. What we did is on our renewal phone calls, we just called and said, hey, we just want to say thank you so much for being a client, and we want to see how you're doing. And then we stopped and we just let them talk. And in the talking, we were able to understand where they were at, how we could help them, and what other things could we actually, sell them as far as a different product line, or maybe bundle some things together with them as well. So definitely just saying thank you goes a long way with your clients. Reconnect with all active sales prospects, leading with your high value content. So we went back to all of our clients that we had put on that we would do a win back down the road. And this may not, if you don't have a pipeline right now, you can do the same things that we're talking about with all of your clients with win backs. Do it earlier. They say, hey, at renewal, we'll go ahead and shop me. We pulled our win backs list and we started making phone calls out to them and just saying, hey, I know we're going to work on your insurance later, but we want to call and see how you're doing. Is there anything that we can help you with now? And then we sent them follow-up content on supporting whatever it is that they needed help with on it. So this was really effective on getting some new leads in a little bit sooner than what we had planned on down the road. And they really appreciate it. We had a lot of clients that just said, you know what, my agent didn't reach out to me. They didn't try to see if I was okay or how, my business was doing, how my family was doing. And this was a really great way to go and bring in a pipeline for yourself. So it goes hand in hand with your re-engagement campaign to reach past prospects. So if you cannot get them on the phone, you don't get a chance to talk to them. We created a drip campaign for past prospects, including the cyber flyer that I showed you guys before. And it's going and it's dripping out to them and saying, hello, we're here to help. And then we put the information out there them for it, depending on if they were personal or commercial lines. So again, that high value offer to any cold sell outreach, if you're reaching out, there are some businesses that actually it's an uptick with what stuff is going on. My husband has this interesting conversation I start like almost every night that he asks, he's like, where is the money going? Like, it's going from some people, but it's being redispersed over here. I mean, granted, probably a lot of it since Amazon, but there is going some places. So there are some clients that are really doing a lot better than before. I know today in my mastermind meeting, one of the mortgage guys said that he's like, I feel almost bad that how busy we've been. He said new loans have really slowed down as far as new purchases, but refis have really stepped up. So if you haven't reached out to a mortgage person, I would definitely start giving them calls and then saying, hey, with the refis, how's it going with you? I'd like to be a resource for you and be able to help. Just reach out to them and make a cold call to them. It doesn't hurt to reach out to a mortgage person and just do a check-in. They're more willing to listen right now, and especially if there's they have a lot more in their pipeline right now and their previous relationship's not going very well, they may hand you some things that they wouldn't have handed you before. So stay accountable, including your follow-up process. I know that the sales team, there's been lulls, and you go through the cycles where you lose a little bit of momentum and then everyone kind of gets down on it. So even if you're feeling down on it, still stay accountable to your follow-up process, making sure that you're staying on top of what is working for you, whether it be the prospecting side or following up with the clients that you currently have. Just make sure you're still following that and not going, oh, I don't feel like it today, I'm going to pass it over. The best thing you can do is just keep to the process that has worked before in regards to the accountability side on your clients. Again, build and strengthen the referral partnerships, including the mortgage companies. I, within the first couple of weeks, started calling my referring partners and talking to them and seeing how I could help them as well. And it really strengthened the partnership with them. We sent out, actually I'm going to show you guys this and pull it from over here. We were supposed to move into our new building the week that we went home. And so what we did was we did a card, and it just says, wish you were here. And then we had pictures of the building. And then we just said, may our isolation be short, hand sanitizer be strong, and toilet paper be plentiful. And we sent it out to our referral partners and also our agencies. And we sent it with some little hand sanitizer wipes that we got from Safestove from the marketing thing. So if you can think about different types of ways to build and strengthen the referral partnership by doing unique items that are timely, then that's very, very helpful. And they just appreciate somebody thinking about them. Mail is definitely tangible right now. People are striving for connection, and we can't go out in public and do it. So I know that just sending out cards to them and thanking them and just little tiny thoughtful things has helped a lot. So enlist your team to help. We do what's called C2Cs. It's collaboration to creation with our teams. And that's an hour that we do twice a week, and we set it aside, and we enlisted our team to help. So being a part of the community, you know, now and going forward will really help with things. So we put together a program that we will actually be delivering this Friday. And what it was we got carriers, and we bought some gift cards for local restaurants that were our clients, or ones that the team wanted to support, that were their local places. And we put together the gift cards, and we are delivering them to a nursing home. And the reason why we're delivering it to a nursing home for the workers is they're working with the most at risk, but they're the ones that people are not really thinking about. And they've had to step up their game to really keep them, you know, safe as well. So think about unique and different types of ways that you can enlist your team to help, and it will lift their spirits. And then also it's something that you can put out in social media to show, you know, hey, we care. We're out there, and we want to support the restaurants. We want to support the people that are working with our most at risk. And it really picked up the spirits of our team, and they were excited to call the clients and say, hey, we chose you as one of our favorite clients, and we'd like to buy gift cards from you. So I had my team make those phone calls, so then that my team could be the hero in that scenario, and they felt really proud of the work that they were able to do. So seek biz dev advice from a range of sources. So this development shouldn't stop just because we're going through this. You need to really think about how you want to develop your business, and you need other people that can give you a range of resources that you don't have on it. So I'm still doing my mastermind Zoom calls with people that can give me ideas of how to improve my business. If you can talk to other people that are outside of the industry, I think it really helps give an insight to how other businesses are really adjusting. This week I'm doing Agency All-Stars. It's our mastermind group that I have with some other agencies that are outside of our group. And I think if you can, you know, touch base with them and be able to get ideas, I think it'll really help you with your plan and your backup plan too. I know it has really helped me with it too. I mean, just reaching out to our agencies that are part of CLI and saying, hey, how's it going? What are you doing? It has been incredible to just be able to, you know, first hear their voices, secondly, hear that they're okay. And thirdly, I get some really great ideas of some things that we could do with our team a little bit differently to help our clients. So find ways to take breaks. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I am constantly working at this really, like, I'm on a treadmill and I can't get off. And in that treadmill, I have, you know, homeschool, being thrown on the treadmill and doing those things, and you just feel a lot more stress. So with sales, I think sometimes you got to take a break from it, take a breather, and then go back to it as well. So recognize that you'll likely survive this. We're going to, be okay. Definitely don't go to doom and gloom. If you have that in your sales pitch and you're talking to a client and they can feel that energy, so definitely take that out of it and make sure that you do not have the doom and gloom. We're here to be a support for them. So that's super important as we're going forward. So like I said before, we want to put together pieces of a proactive plan. And by doing that, we need to think about things of how our business has changed with telecommuting, with even our clients are telecommuting too. So there's ways that even if you're not creating a policy, how is that changing for you? Think about how cyber has changed for you too. Think about how the environment's going to change going forward, and then how sales are going to change. So these are the materials that we've put together for you. I know I went through it pretty quickly on it, but this is an opportunity for us to also open it up. And I'm gonna have you guys, ask questions or give comments or things, the resources you guys have been looking for. I really appreciate you guys being a part of it. I'm really excited to be learning from you as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it up and have you guys ask some questions or comments or give some ideas of what you guys have done during this time. And I'm trying to unmute everybody.
Hello, everybody.
And who's there?
This is the one and only Gru.
Hey, Gru. Gruner.
Yes, I want everybody to give me a standing ovation today. No, simply this. I've contacted pretty much everybody and just checked on them. Even clients I've lost, just to set the tone, to basically put pressure and drive a wedge. It's been pretty successful for me. It didn't really matter if it's Geico or anybody, because obviously Geico's not reaching out to their clients. So it just kind of makes it where, for me, if I'm touching base with people, just showing a compassionate human heart just to check on them, it obviously can turn into a very profitable future, or even opportunities to be able to cross sell people that may be monoline accounts. So that's kind of some of the things I've been doing, touch points, through like small campaigns. I sent out a COVID-19 one at the very beginning. Just, letting people know that we're here for them. Unfortunately, I've lost quite a few deals due to furloughs. Still touching base with those clients, just say, hey, we're here for you. We'd love to help you out, regardless if it's, today, tomorrow, or whenever. So just trying to, I guess, be human with everybody. So that's some of the things I've been doing. Plus, it's put a pretty big damper on my my move to back to the bigger markets. And but I'm been able to touch with people, base with people I haven't been able to land, like brokers, some high producing mortgage loan officers. So it's been able to kind of set appointments, do a coffee talk with them, trying to strategically plan the next round and really find those people that understand what I'm trying to accomplish, as well as what they're trying to accomplish. So that's basically been me for the last 60 days, I guess. So
I wouldn't expect anything less from high energy Gru.
Trying to still learn channel my intensity, but regardless if it's COVID-19, I'll throw on a mask and military gear and I'll go kick down doors, but they may be empty though. But just trying to catch people, So outside that, I think this is great information. Definitely had a recording of this so I can revisit it with Vanessa too. She's at work, unfortunately, so I've had to be dad and make those adjustments too, and trying to adjust my schedule as well. So, but yeah, that's Gruner.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. If you are muted, just unmute yourself if you'd like to talk. I can unmute some of you, but some of you have chosen to mute yourself, so we can't on it too. Archibald, what have you done in Virginia?
We're hanging in there. I'm in the middle of my big move too. We just started a remodel on our new location 2 weeks ago, so I've been really busy making decisions over there. But the team's doing really well. Everyone's luckily still been here working. We honestly weren't really prepared for us all to work at home, but we scrambled pretty quickly, and I think we could work at home now if we had to, but everybody's I think more comfortable just being here. We're just closed to the public, so no in-person meetings. Virginia's opening up a little bit on Friday, but I think I feel good about remaining closed to in-person for a while, so we're going to keep an eye on that decision. And some changes. I know most agents are not taking payments in their office anymore. We still take quite a few payments, so we stopped doing that, and we're just doing, if they want to pay through us with a card, we're doing that over the phone. And I think we might not go back now, actually, so that's something good that might come out of this. I don't see us going back to taking payments. So but we're doing a lot of what you mentioned. I mean, you gave me some great ideas. I have a whole page of notes here, but we're mainly reaching out to clients. We're reaching out mostly the ones that are coming up for renewal, because that's pretty much all we can find time for, but we're trying to cross-sell. And we're just basically checking in, like you said. We wanted to tell you we appreciate you, and we just wanted to see how you're doing through everything. And then, inevitably it comes up, that they might be struggling with money or their job, and then, well, how can we help? And that would be to maybe write some of their other things by packaging it together and possibly saving you some money there. And they're really receptive. So we've been keeping our sales numbers up mainly by doing the cross-selling. So everything's going pretty well. We're having.
Cool.
I'm afraid of what might happen in the next few weeks, since all these companies had delayed payments. Like Progressive, for instance, their program really stops on Friday, on the 15th. So all these people that they pushed their payments out, they didn't send them cancel notices, they let them renew without a payment. All this money's going to come due, and I think a lot of these people think that it's going to kind of go away, but they're going to owe money at the end of this. So I'm really, I know it's going to take a lot of phone calling, reaching out to people that are behind and trying to help them work through it, because if we don't, they're just going to go, leave that balance and go somewhere else. So probably a lot of re-quoting is going to be going on, so we don't lose people.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't ask for all that, did you?
No, it was lovely. Thank you, Art. That was great. No, it's a good perspective on it. So, like I said, I've done a couple of COVID councils with Liberty and Safeco and a couple of different carriers. And one of the things that, especially when it first started, was that we were just pushing to them. We're like, okay, that's great that you're doing that. Have you thought about how that impacts us? Like, they were thinking about these things before they put them into place for us. Right. And we're like, that's a good short-term, solution, some of them, but what is the, effect 6 months down the road, like you're talking about with it? And some of them did a really good job of, not doing, it wasn't going to hurt our compensation when they did the refunds. Yeah. But it is the delayed payments. I noticed, I was surprised, a lot of clients decided not to delay the payments for us on personal lines, and even commercial. They, someone just said, hey, I'm waiting it out, or a couple of them, we just put them down to lower, limits. We put a lot of people on pay-as-you-go with workers' comp. Like Hartford allowed us to do that midterm, so we could change it on that way. So it really made it flexible for them, because right now they don't have any payroll coming through on some of the risks that we worked with. But yeah. What other changes has any of you guys made that you think that you'll probably implement later? Because we're looking at carriers like here in Arizona, we have Nationwide has a Scottsdale campus, and they're looking at a lot of their employees now working from home. And they did that across the nation as well with a couple of other offices that Nationwide has. So I know that the carriers are looking at how they're going to do things different. How are you looking at it differently? Like Art just talked about not taking cash payments anymore.
I'll speak to that. So one of the things that we're doing that's slightly different, and fortunately I had a couple of volunteers, is we're actually going back with half staff. There were people that wanted to work out of the office, and so we're like, great, wonderful. It's been a blessing from my perspective that we've been able to train clients that they don't have to come into the office to make payments or to make changes, that we can do that by the phone. And so half of our staff is working from home and half of our staff is working in the office. I mean, we're only a team of 5. But one of the major reasons that I'm doing that is just from a risk management perspective, because if one of the employees comes down with this, does that mean I have to quarantine my entire office and shut it down? And so kind of what we're doing is splitting staff so that if something like that happens, we don't have to close down, because I believe that could be seriously catastrophic for us.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I had someone here.
How does anyone else feel about that? Because I think if one of your employees came down with it, you would have to quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct. But if they're not mixing because half of them are sitting at home, then the minute that comes down, we can scrub the office and switch for 2 weeks where we got people in the office that are now working that haven't been exposed.
Yeah, that's certainly better. Yeah.
That's a cool transition strategy you got there.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I know that Heather and I were talking about actually like paying for our employees to go get the antibody test. It's like $99. Heather, can I say that you're getting yours today?
Yeah, I'm gonna be the experiment the experiment person. I want to see how the process is. I just ordered it on Sonora Quest. Obviously, it's not affordable to everyone yet. $99 is kind of, obviously expensive for most people. And but however, it was very easy. I logged in, and in 5 minutes, I had my appointment, and I just drive down to, Karch, you might have to drive far, but it's in Tempe, my testing center, which is about 3 to 4 miles from my house. And it's very easy, just a little expensive. So.
Hey, just chip in there on that one. Shelley and I, we went to get our blood test. We get blood tested about twice a year with a homeopathic doctor. And this time we added the antibody test. Sorry, McDoug, mine was $50.
Cool. Where did you order yours from? Through your doctor?
Yeah. I can let you know the name of the doctor. I mean, we go and visit them.
It's just we ordered it direct from the lab so that we don't have to have any doctors. You don't have to have any doctor or anything. You just buy it and go. Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, if you can spend your $100, I'll spend my 50. That's fine. I don't care. Just a shout out there. If anybody's in the Scottsdale area, I can always pass on the name of the doctor that did it for us.
Yeah. Well, the point is that we were thinking of offering reimbursement to our employees to go and get that, but we have to be careful with HIPAA and personal information and so forth. So we'll take the easiest way. To where they don't have to screw around with doctors and things like that, and they can just simply make an appointment. When I made my appointment or the day before, I think it was, Dawnyel, right? There was, I mean, I could choose from like 25 different appointment times every day. So it was extremely easy. And then, just a tip, that one's Sonora Quest, and they have a lot of quick, what do they call it? It's not a drive-through if you actually go in, but I guess they're packing them in there like cattle, only 6 feet apart. I don't know. So we can get tests.
Yeah, but we're looking at like making a voluntary type of thing if they'd like to do it and then share with us. And we're kind of trying to see if there's like we can do the herd, immunity type of thing. And but it may give them some comfort by going and getting it as well as something that would be helpful for our team. So we're fleshing that out we're going to see how difficult it is for McDougall. So thanks for being guinea pig.
No problem.
Yeah, we'll pass on our results as well. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll let you know if they attack me and stick a chip in me or something. I think it's just a simple swab.
What else are people doing differently after, all of this, kind of like Kurt just talking about doing it in shifts and then not having as many clients? What other things have been, positively that you're going to change going forward?
And just chip in from my perspective, Dawnyel. I mean, I guess, I know you know, but I'm one of the guys who just does work from home anyway. So that transition, wasn't made. And I just carried on as normal in one sense. A couple of things that have helped out tremendously is I'm guessing everybody's got decent phone systems. But if you did have an office and then you had to move home, to work from home, obviously you want to get those calls transferred. You've got a good business phone set up. I've been with Vonage for like 15 years, and a simple phone call to them a while back just set up a menu system for me on my phone. So you press 1 if you're a Safeco customer, you press 1 to be forwarded to Safeco Gold. You press 2 if you want to speak with Ian, you press 3 if you want to speak with Shelley, and you press 4 if you want to leave a message. So, if anybody's looking at a redirect from office to home, that kind of system is absolutely superb, works really well. And it was at no cost. Just my monthly line rental, which is like $25 a month. That helped tremendously. The other thing that's helped customers as well, particularly recently, from the financial point of view, because I take on board, what everybody's been saying about, it's okay saying we're going to delay your payment, but in 2 or 3 months' time, nobody's going to be able to afford 3 months of payment when they've been off work for 2 or 3 months. I mean, that is just not going to work, is it, for people? If you can't afford 1 month, you're not going to be able to afford 3 months. What I've been trying to do whenever possible, for me in my area, progressive auto rates have been absolutely superb. I've just moved one lady from Safeco. Now with Safeco, she was actually on a 0 deductible. She'd been with them 5 years. Clean as a whistle, really good IS score. Safeco renewed her at $1,150. I re-quoted her because she was upset because, retiree, it had gone up. Re-quoted her. I managed to get her the same coverage with Progressive at $747 for the year. I mean, she saved $300. And what we did was we put her on, she took the pay in full. I explained the pay in full to her. You don't pay your credit card down instead of paying the insurance company, because that's a generous discount. The other one, I don't know if everybody knows about it, but with Progressive, if you ask your customer to sign up for AAA, the roadside assistance, they give you something like an 8% discount on the premium. I don't know if everybody's been doing that. I had one client, she had 3 vehicles and a scooter. I signed her up for AAA. A discount was $285, and it cost her $46 to join AAA. If you've got a group scenario, group vehicles, ask one of them just to join AAA, and you get about 8% off the entire premium. You know, if you just drop down the membership box and insert AAA for discount, then go and see what your premium's going to be. You'll see the difference. So if you couple that with the you know, with the snapshot, the pay in full, and the AAA discount, and you know, she ended up with oh, and she got the technology discount as well for the vehicle. So she ended up with 4 discounts and 747 for the year. She was absolutely thrilled to bits. So, you know, just a couple of ways there of, you know, trying to deal with people that you know, that are struggling, and you know, just trying to get them the best deal.
Cool. John, I'd be interested to know from your perspective. So you are in the Seattle area, and this hit you guys harder earlier with it. How has your transition been, and what are the things you're going to do in the next couple of weeks with your team?
We're looking at June 1st. Our states is in phase released phase 1, and and we're actually not technically be closed. It was our choice to protect our staff, close. And it also became a point in our culture here in Seattle where you're kind of expected to be a good citizen, so, you know, just go with the flow. So even though we didn't have to close and we don't have a lot of drop-in people, we just chose to do that. We're doing fine working remotely. In some ways, I like it a lot better. The commute's not there. Productivity is equal. It's just we don't have a retail presence. In terms of Seattle marketplace, in terms of what's going on, we were the first to get it. People responded with social distancing really well. I think of the total death count is less than 1,000, and like 70% of those are folks in nursing homes. There's one area they really screwed up across the whole country as far as concerned. Anyway, we're doing fine. I like the outreach ideas that are here, especially taking advantage of people that are needing to be reached out to. Let them know that we're there and we care. I and Chinese and my team doing that, but we're surviving, if you want to put it that way. We're not growing, we're losing. The biggest risk we have right now, like many of you, my restaurant people are dying. They're lost. A lot of them don't keep books well enough, so the PPP program is almost impossible for them to figure out. I don't know where we're with them, but that's our only loss area. And otherwise, personal lines, people are making payments. We just have a handful of people that have not been in pace, and you know, and all the carriers are making themselves look good because they're all 15 to 20% back right now, which more than equals. My ratio is wonderful. We don't have losses or total claims. That's where we stand.
Oh, thanks for sharing.
Yep.
So one of the things I decided that you guys know is that with the carriers on some of the councils, we are really pushing them to readjust their profit share program. So some of them are dependent on growth, and some of them are dependent on growth and profitability. And so we feel like if they're going to be profiting significantly because there are less losses, that we should be a part of that profitability, and the growth factor should be changed for it. So I know that some of that.
Here.
So hopefully we can push some of that through. Just thought I'd give you guys an update on kind of what carriers are looking at. They are looking at that. Out of curiosity, what resources have you guys used during this time that have helped your business or helped your clients? I know that I've used some of the carrier sites. Liberty Mutual has a pretty good one that they put together for it. CDC, of course, and some of the items that they have as far as recommendations go. And actually, there's a couple payroll companies that I know that I reached out and asked them for their resources too, and got some really great items that I was able to compile. But I would be curious to see, where are you guys getting advice from or getting resources from? I know I'm not getting it from the news. I feel like it's like this gossip thing, and social media is definitely not going to be where I'm going to get some of the resources, although some of the resources are super helpful there too from other agencies, but just curious about that. Can anybody share where they've gotten some resources from?
So, Dan, just clarify. Are you talking about resources for for the business, or are you talking about resources in terms of the COVID-19 and the scenario and where we're going and what's up to date?
Yeah, it could be either or, resources for your business or resources for COVID-19.
Yeah, I mean, based on the COVID-19 thing, I mean, you know what it's like over here. I mean, they take any issue that comes up, it's immediately political over here, and it's right versus left, it's red versus blue. And if you want a more accurate perspective on what's actually happening, try looking at some of the places like Reuters for news, which give a much more balanced perspective. BBC from England as well gives a much more balanced perspective. You don't get all the political claptrap involved in the COVID scenario. The one thing that was particularly worrying to me, and honestly it made my heart miss a beat on Monday when I heard it, is that Germany, who has handled this with Angela Merkel absolutely brilliantly, they're now into a second wave. And they're looking at going back to lockdown again. So that, in terms of, future perspective, that was, I hate to say it, but not good news. If that's happening to somebody like Germany with the way they handle it first time round, they're obviously, with their epidemiology and what they've done and how they've done it, they've reduced their death rate considerably. But the infection rate has now started to rise again, despite all of the good work and everything that they have done, which is remarkably worrying for us here. So, I really don't see an end to this in the foreseeable future. I just think it's going to go on and on and on. As long as that virus is there, it's going to get spread from one person to another. And the rate of spread is phenomenal. I mean, that's what is causing the problem with this one. It is just so easily transmitted. The other one, I don't know if anybody saw it, was the way some of the universities are looking at the way the virus is spread in offices, restaurants, anywhere that has any kind of, dare I say, HVAC system. Because apparently, the 6-foot rule really doesn't apply. So if you're in a restaurant, for example, or in an office, and there is an airflow in the office space caused by either an open window or the HVAC system, the virus can be spread in the air a lot further than 6 feet. So that if you're in the airflow channel, you might be sat 15, 20, 30 feet away from an infected person. You can still pick it up. I mean, I just advise you to have a look at, just look at some of the research on airflow in offices. Again, I hate to be, put a damper on it, but, in terms of, education and awareness and what's been happening in terms of research, outside of the US, without the political bias, those are the things that I've just picked up recently. Sorry to be so miserable about it, but it's, you've all got to protect yourself. And, I'm approaching that age group where it hits hardest. And, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, our gym is supposed to be opening up on the 28th of May. I mean, what I've just heard about airflow, they're saying that they're going to put everybody 6 feet apart on every other treadmill or every other rowing machine. Well, when you hear about airflow in a gym with all the air conditioning, no way am I going. No way am I going into a gym with hot, sweaty people 6 feet away in an airflow. So that was some interesting information that's coming through.
Yeah, we're coming up on our hour. I definitely think that what we have to do is we just have to be respectful that everyone's going to, look at this differently. The information's difficult because we get conflicting messages. So that's why I thought I'd ask you guys for like good resources, because I think that's one of the hardest things as business owners is we're not sure what we're going, what steps we can take or what we can do. And so, from our perspective with our team, some of it is, honestly, it's psychological. Like some of them, they've been in their houses for 2 months, and for them, safe and healthy, maybe that they elect to come back to work. And we put together, and the resources I'll send you guys has some of the strategies of what you can do that's been suggested as far as keeping them healthy and safe. Is there anything else that anybody would like to ask about, or any comments as we go to a close? I'll look at finishing in like the next 2 minutes, but I definitely wanted to say thank you for everyone that's been a part of it. I'm hoping the resources can help you guys too. Our team has really tried to be super proactive on this and making sure we're communicating with our team, and so we'd like to make sure we're sharing that with you. So any comments or anything that somebody would like to say before we close out?
I'd just like to say nice to meet you all. I'm Benito. I'm in Albuquerque.
Benito.
Just sold my farmer's agency and joined the dark side with you guys here in the past couple weeks. So I appreciate you guys. A lot of good information coming and going on these group threads, and looking forward to working with you guys.
Awesome. Well, congrats, Benito. So, well, I'm going to close us out. Anyways, we'll be sending you follow-up emails, so look out for that. And just thank you to all you guys. And if you need anything at all, you have my email. Our whole team's been getting together and putting together items. So we definitely would like to help you with any resources. So if there's something like, hey, do you have a resource for this? Just email me, and we'd be more than happy to either, share what we have or find you something to help you guys as well. So thanks everyone, and I will sign out from Arizona in my big office alone.